Welcome to Trail Manners, the podcast so dedicated to mountain trails and running that they broadcast out of a 78 Volkswagen bus in the mountains. Who does that? Eric and Joel are your hosts and will bring you the trail life as you may have not heard it before. You hear about everything from gear reviews, nutrition to keep you upright and moving forward, and they'll even bring guests into the bus for conversations that you won't hear anywhere else. It's time for some running adventures on a higher elevation. The old 78 Volkswagen bus is fired up and headed to the mountains. Here are your hosts for Trail Manners, proudly representing the 801 with their passion and love for the trails. Eric Manning and Joel Hatch.
Welcome to the Trail Manners podcast, episode number 72. Today, we're going to be talking with Gabe Joyce here at the Park City Running Company. So if this is your first time listening, then thanks for coming. The Trail Manners podcast is produced every week for your enjoyment, and show notes are found at trailmanners.com. Come back often, and please feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Trail Manners. All links are in the show notes. Now let's get after it. All right, welcome back to another edition of the Trail Manners podcast, episode 72. We are back again.
Oh, this is our third time.
Right?
It feels good.
Park City Run Company. Yeah.
Feels like home.
This does. Every time we come up here, we talk about it.
It's warm and fuzzy.
But every time we come up, it the intensity increases.
Of?
Everything. Love and joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the pocketbook too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
For you.
So,
I saw you.
shopping before we
started frothing.
I
the
got
mouth,
some stuff on the counter already.
He does.
But yeah, so Canice lets us come up here and
we
do our show.
that.
And he just brewed a fresh carafe, right?
Yes.
Big old pot of fresh coffee.
Park City Coffee Roasters.
That's right. And he challenged me to drink the whole thing, and
right.
I'm in. So
I think you're going to do it.
let's do this. Let's get wired. But yeah, so we got a guest today again, right? We like having guests.
We do.
And our guest is he drove down today from Wyoming.
Lander, Wyoming.
From Lander.
Right.
And amazing, beautiful, balmy weather all the way down, passing palm trees as he got here. We have Gabe Joyce. Gabe, thanks for taking the time to meet with us the night before a race.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. It's good to be here.
Yeah, so he's been at Park City Run Company for about an hour.
Right,
Waiting
hanging
for
out.
us.
Yep. Scoping it out, trying stuff on.
Nice. See, that's what
Lovely.
we do. That's what we do. We bring our guests here.
Right.
We strategically let them wait for us, and they start buying stuff.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Or wanting
We
to buy
do not
stuff.
get a cut.
Wanting
by
to
the
buy
way.
stuff.
So you are down in Utah for RUFA, right?
Yeah.
All right. And which timeline are you hitting?
I'm doing the 12-hour event.
Okay.
12 hours of running up and down in the snow seemed like a great idea about a month ago.
Yeah.
So
Well, we had snow a
Right.
month ago, too.
We did.
right.
We had a lot of snow a month ago.
Yeah. Now it's like a Slurpee,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Unflavored Slurpee.
Very, very warm right now.
It's warm. It's raining. It's
Yep.
sloppy. So it should be a fun day, though. It's for a great cause.
Yeah.
We had Jared on the show, talked about RUFA quite a bit, running up for air here in Utah, because we have such horrible air during this time of year.
Yeah, I feel for you guys. That's a bummer.
Yeah. So because you guys probably have some good air, right?
We have great air.
Yeah.
All the time?
All the time.
All
Right.
the time.
All the time. Unless there's
24/7, 365.
forest fire in August.
Oh, that's the worst.
Those are
But
bad.
other than
Yeah.
that, good air.
Right on.
So you live in Lander.
Yes.
Are you originally from Lander?
I'm not. I'm originally from Wisconsin.
Okay.
Oh.
So
But I've been in Lander for almost 9 years now.
So how'd you get the Lander then?
Well, I originally got a job there with Wyoming Game and Fish.
Oh.
I used to make maps for them, and I did that for like a year, and I decided I did not like sitting in a cubicle by myself. Kind of odd. I would sit there, and all the biologists and stuff would be like, all right, we're going to go count sheep on top of some huge mountain. Have a good day. And I'd have the office all to myself, just making maps. And so I lasted at that maybe like 8 or 10 months, and made a career change fresh out of college.
Nice.
Went right back to school and got into education. I used to work at a summer camp when I was in college, and I was like, I kind of liked working with kids. So went and got a job at the local alternative high school, got a degree in education, and been doing that ever since.
Right on.
Well, that's
a
pretty
good
much
story.
what you're doing now. You're just working with a couple kids right now too.
Yep,
so
true.
it's just right up your alley.
Just a little hairier.
Yeah, yeah, I'll take that.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's some hairy kids these days.
There are.
Put us to shame. So you're in Lander. When you were in Wisconsin, did you run when you were there? Were you a runner in Wisconsin?
Not really. I would try to a little bit. I was a very dedicated soccer player. I
so
spent-
we're good. All right.
So
we're
I
good.
I know that story.
That's all I did, and like if I went for like a 40-minute run, I thought that was really long. I was like,
First
yeah.
half's over.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I went for like a 40-minute like road run, I would go in and eat like a whole container of ice cream and eat some nachos, and thought that I just spent myself for a week.
That sounds really good. All right.
I'd do that right now.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
I
It was-
picked Joe up at the local nacho bar.
Yeah, it's the local
Nice.
nacho bar, the nacho truck.
There we go. The nacho. It's not nacho truck.
That's right.
So did you play soccer like high school? Did you go to college and play?
Yeah,
or
yeah, I
what'd you
did. I played on all sorts of different high school club teams and school teams, and then I played at Gustavus Adolphus College in Minnesota.
do? Okay.
Did that for 4 years, and yeah, it was a really competitive team, good experience, and I was maybe a little bit burnt out with the hyper competitiveness of it, and we were a strong team, and it was fun to compete and stuff, but it was kind of nice to just relax and run a little bit.
Right.
After that was all done, it was nice just to run for fun.
So when did you pick up running? Was it there in Wisconsin or was it in Lander?
Well, it was probably at that summer camp I worked at. I worked
And
at
where was that at?
That was in Montana,
Okay.
just north of Yellowstone in the Absaroka Beartooth Wilderness, which
Right.
is
Gorgeous.
top-notch scenery. I mean, drop-dead gorgeous. And I worked at a summer camp there called Christicon, and I originally started running there to kind of stay in shape for soccer, and the season started in the fall, and but the adventures just got kind of fun, and we'd run a little farther and stuff, and did lots of backpacking, and kind of got hooked on the long distance running thing there. We'd get these ridiculously short breaks between camp sessions. They'd be anywhere between like 24 and 48 hours we'd get off.
Right.
Like literally, like that's how many hours it was. And so me and all the other people that worked there, we'd have these ambitious goals of, we want to hike up this peak, or we want to get to
Right.
this spot or whatever. And so we'd load up our backpacks with all this camping stuff, and we'd go and hike as hard as we could, and we were just way too slow. Like ridiculous, and we'd suffer, and it'd be heavy, and we often failed and didn't get where we wanted to go, which was really depressing. And so then it was like, all right, we need ultralight backpacking stuff.
There you go.
And then we're gonna go super fast,
Yep.
which still really isn't all that fast. I mean,
No.
that crap's still heavy. Like,
it is.
And so then eventually, towards the end of our time working there, was like, maybe the trick is to carry like nothing
Right.
and just run. And so we started doing that to get to these cool remote peaks and stuff, and we still often failed, but we did a lot better. We were
Right.
successful sometimes, and I didn't know that like long distance mountain running like that was a thing people did.
Right.
Like we sort of felt like we invented it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is very very naive, apparently.
You're like, it would even be better if
Yeah.
they made running shorts.
Right. It's kind of true. And then I found out that like people do races like that and
Oh,
stuff, and
yeah.
I was like, wow, this is cool. There's this whole world out there, and so kind of got into more runs that way. So I kind of came from I guess almost like a backpacking background,
Right.
where it was hiking's just too slow now,
Huh.
So we have to run.
Cover
Right.
more ground,
Cover
see
more
more
ground.
things.
Exactly.
But it came with that being outside and
Right.
the elements and the nature
enjoying
kind of
that.
background.
Right.
That was the whole idea. Was like, what's the best way to see the most stuff in the least amount of time?
Right.
It's running. It's not.
It
It's
is.
not hiking with 45 pounds on your back.
Yeah, that's true. So, what do you miss most about Wisconsin?
The fine cheese selection.
Oh my gosh, man! I was setting you up for that
Were you
because I
really?
was so hoping you'd.
Okay.
So I consider myself a cheese curd connoisseur.
Oh, very good.
I've labeled myself that. My business cards are on the way, but
Yeah.
anytime I hear Wisconsin, I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, cheese.
It's the real deal.
That's what I hear.
Like, there's the cheese shops in like every town. I mean, you can go
Really?
and you can get more cheese, and I can't even name them all, but there's this cheese shop in my local town. I grew up in Stoughton, Wisconsin. It's called Cheezers. And
I
you can
love the
just-
name already, too.
I know, right? You can just go there, and there's this whole case of like every type of cheese imaginable, and you can just be like, I'd like to try one of those. I would like to try I'd like to try the Veggie Farmers. I would like the bacon cheddar, please.
Oh, man.
You know, whatever you want to try. And they're like, yeah. And they chop you off a little piece of it. And you're like, I don't know. I need another taste. And you know, eventually you feel.
It's like trying ice cream.
It's like
it's like that, but with cheese.
It's like the fudge shops, too.
And eventually you feel the shame and you buy a bunch.
Oh, wait a minute. There's a fudge shop like that?
Oh, they're all over, man. He's like, I'll try the cookies and cream. I'll
That's
try the
not good.
amaretto. I'll try that one. And then eventually you
fudge.
buy like a small piece for like $24.
Right.
But
You walk out there 10 pounds heavier.
yeah. Well, it's the same with the cheese. But,
Yeah.
man, I just love cheese.
Good.
So soccer, cheese. we got
Backpacking.
New best
running.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm sweating.
Yeah, you are.
I'm in the midst of just greatness. All right, so you're in Montana. You're doing your
Summer camp.
inventing the new trail running
Yep.
craze,
it.
the new
Yep.
craze. And you ended up in Lander with the Fish and Game.
Yep.
You went into teaching, and then while you were there, since Lander has trails, mountains, you just kept doing their thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I actually still didn't start running that much yet.
Huh.
It took till my wife got pregnant.
And then I need to run, honey.
Yeah.
Well, sort of. So we would always backpack together.
Oh.
And then, she got weighed down a little bit there with a
Yeah.
with a baby on the way. And I was like, well, I still kind of want to go check out these cool places. And she was like, okay. So bless her heart. She was very, very kind to
Accommodating.
me. And so I would just go and run instead of hiking with her. And I'm very blessed.
Yeah. Little did you know she just wanted you out of the house.
And that may be the reality, but
No, that's awesome. So, we do what we do, right? We stock. And you have an interesting Ultra Sign-Up's like our number one stocking page.
it's great for that.
It is.
And you have a very interesting Ultra Sign-Up page.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think 2012 is your first documented trail race.
Oh, yes.
And between 2012 and 2016, that's a 4-year gap according to my math.
Uh-huh.
I'm shooting off the top here, but you have like 5 races.
I think it's more than that.
Is it?
But it's not a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was.
But it seems like there's like a big, lots of gap, right?
Right.
That could be.
But I mean, this is Ultra Sign-Up, so I
Right.
mean, there's other races that aren't there,
Yeah.
results and things like that.
Wasatch is not on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wasatch is not on there.
Yeah. So give us your break-in from, running during your wife's pregnancy to maybe I'll put a bib on and try
Yeah,
this with a
that's-
bunch of other
that-
people.
The year when we had our first daughter, I signed up for the Bighorn 50 and I trained for that, and that was really fun, but kind of a disaster.
So elaborate.
Yeah.
We get the fun part.
Yeah.
We want to hear about the disaster.
I felt like I was really fit, and have you guys done Bighorn before?
No.
Bighorn? So Bighorn 50 starts, and it's just drop dead gorgeous. It's beautiful up there. It's a cool morning, 6 a.m. or whatever. I thought I was super fit, and I started off just like sprinting down the mountain.
Yeah.
Completely unreasonably fast.
Right.
Oh
boy.
So so
That's the only way Joel knows how to go.
That's
you
right.
know how that
Go
ends.
as fast as you possibly can.
I was also
Later,
for
suckers.
my first couple of trail races, I was working out. I figured out that I had celiac disease.
Oh.
So having like wheat and gluten, that stuff just destroys me. And I definitely remember like hanging in there, being tired and burnt out. And I got to the Dry Fork Ridge aid station, and I sat down and I was like, wow, it's quite a place. And this kid walks up with like 2 slices of pizza. And he's like,
Oh.
here you go. I'm like, wow, what a guy. And so I wasn't going to say no to pizza, with cheese on it. I ate the pizza, and in just the last, however many miles it is from there, 18 or something like that, where it's just absolute misery.
Doubled over.
I was
In the
just
bushes.
a hot mess in
Yeah.
the bushes using God knows what for toilet paper. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was just awful.
So
No.
the kid basically sabotaged.
He pretty
your
much
race.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was bad. But other than that, it was, it left me wanting more, wanting to do it again. I want to do it better, because that first 10, 20 miles or whatever, which is bliss, was so
Right.
fun that that was enough to get me hooked with trail racing. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
So then after Bighorn, what was your next race?
I think my next race was the Bear 100. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, just do, hey, I'm going to start trail running. I'm going to do, let's try Bighorn 50 and a Bear 100.
Right. Well,
Isn't this what
Bighorn
you do?
50 went so well. I figured I was ready for a Bear 100.
So you packed a bunch of pizza pockets.
Exactly.
Hot pocket.
Literally.
And
What year was that?
2013, 2014, maybe 14.
Okay.
And that went a lot better. That was like I would say that was kind of like a standard.
That was a rain year. That was a rain bear.
Yeah.
I think.
It was the year before the Rain Bear.
Was it?
I did that one too. So whatever year that would have been.
2013 was rain bear? No, 20.
I don't remember.
Maybe
Years are passing by pretty
I
fast
know,
for me.
that's what happens when you get old.
Yeah.
Well, it was beautiful that first year. It wasn't so bad, but I just, I like had a hard time the last 20 miles, pretty boring.
Right.
But otherwise, it was good.
But your time for that was pretty good, though, right? 20.
It was like 25 and a half or something like that.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was pleased with it. But again, I was left like, I can do better.
Right.
I can do better. And then I came back and did the Bear. I did a few races that following year, but I did the Bear again, and it went a lot better. It was like almost 22 hours flat.
Right. The
And
course.
that was, and that was the rain year with all the shoe-sucking mud. And
Yeah, that was good fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was kind of
No,
fun.
it wasn't.
I liked it. It was fun sliding down that last descent.
You're right.
Like, it was pretty cool.
So that was 22 hours,
Yeah.
and you were happy with that one.
Yeah, I felt a
Okay.
lot better about it. I took off like 3.5 hours
Right,
from the year
that's
before,
good.
so I thought that was pretty
Especially in
decent.
those crappy conditions.
Yes.
That really says
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, without that mud, I'm sure it'd been a little quicker, but
Oh, that for sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
Yeah.
One of the nasty times.
Yeah.
So after the rain bear, what was that? After that, next year.
The
that
following
2015?
year?
So that was 2015. So
2015. I did the Bighorn 100 and the Wasatch 100.
okay, so were you seeing improvements on those as well then?
Sort of. The Bighorn 100 that year, it went pretty good. I ran out of water for a while and kind of dug myself a dehydration hole that I never quite crawled out of.
Right.
And that went okay. That could have been a good race, but I don't know.
You finished.
I finished.
Right.
I finished, and and my time was pretty similar to what I ran at the Bear before. But
Okay.
I was like, I could have done a lot better than that. And then I did Wasatch that year, and I had a pretty awesome race there until I got lost for a while. I got lost in the Lambs Canyon area when it was like 95 degrees or something like that. We ran all the way to I-80. I mean, it was awful. Like, not where the aid station is I-80, but like
Some other section.
some
of
other
I-80.
section. And me and Travis Macy wandered around for way too long.
So was it going up when you left, what's
The
that?
aid station?
Yeah, what's that one in the middle there? You leave Big Mountain, and you go, what's that next
Alexander.
one? Yeah. When you left Alexander, did you
Yeah.
just keep marching up that power line trail?
Yes.
Oh,
You're supposed to
okay.
turn right
You
somewhere.
turn right and go
Yeah.
up
Yeah, we
into
didn't
the
turn
trees.
right. And we ended
Oh.
up, so we went all the way to I-80 through there, following the power lines, and then we somehow got back to the course going through an archery range.
Carrying an antler shed.
On like little game trails and stuff. Actually, I was kind of nervous. I was,
Arrows flying by. This is weird. Is this a
and-
Spartan race?
Yeah.
yeah. And Travis and I had been in the lead, and so then we got to Lambs Canyon, and we were in like 4th or 5th, and I was kind of pissed about that. And then I probably didn't handle it real well, and I went out from Lambs Canyon very hard, and I was feeling good and moving well, but then I was all those little downhills after that. I was running those kind of like a maniac, and I pulled my hamstring.
Oh.
It's like a sniper got me.
Right.
Oh.
And I thought I had a cramp at first, and I was like popping salt pills and stuff.
Right.
And I was like, gosh, this cramp's not going away. Like 3 hours later, I was limping. I was like, I can't believe this cramp. Like, wait a minute. I guess that's not a cramp, huh? And so then I limped and hopped and skipped and did everything I could until like mile 87, and I dropped, which was a huge bummer.
Right.
Because that was
That was the smart thing to do
well
when you're
I
hurt
guess.
that bad.
I guess.
Come
yeah.
back next time.
If salt doesn't
Yeah.
work, I mean, you might as well.
Right.
Rub some
It's-
dirt on it.
Right. Yeah. So that was a bummer. So that would have been a good race if I
Right.
hadn't been so dumb, but I guess that's part of the
Learning curve.
learning
right.
curve. Yeah.
Now, in any time before that, because you don't have like a true what we consider like running background.
No, I
right?
don't,
It's just
no.
kind of like something you jumped into,
Yeah.
kind of figured out as you went. Now you have a coach, right?
Yeah, I worked with Ty Drady.
So when did you
When'd you pick him
pick
up?
him up?
What was it? That would have been that winter before. So I guess it'd been like the winter, like maybe it was like in January of 2015 or something like that.
How'd you hear about him?
So I had heard about him when he did his double bear.
Okay.
There in
yeah.
the mud year.
That was a rain bear.
Yeah, the raven. Yeah, and that was mildly impressive, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it was. He was kicking my butt.
I was like, all right, who's this chump? Maybe I can learn a thing or different.
Yeah.
No, and I kept on, like, I didn't know what I was doing in training. And I was like, I would literally lay in bed at night trying to figure out what the heck I should be doing to run. I had no idea
What were
I
you
was
doing?
Yeah, what was your train? Just get on the
before you
trail
picked
and
up
go?
time.
And
kind of run and like
That sounds good to me, to be honest.
I did like my long runs on the weekends were pretty long. I would like
What's pre-long?
I would like it wouldn't like I would just go run like 35 miles on a Saturday. And then naturally I would be like pretty burnt out all week and I'd maybe run like 5 miles here and there,
yeah.
you know, and then I would go crush another weekend run.
Right.
And I thought that was what you had to do.
That sounded kind of like when you were inventing the sport.
Right.
Yeah.
I was still inventing how to
Right?
train
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
And so then I got talking to Ty and I was also I kept on having problems with like little injuries, of course, when you train like that. And
I imagine so.
and I was like, I don't want to be injured anymore, and I want to get better at this. And so I kind of reached out to him. And
what was his
the-
comment to you? Do you remember anything he said when you told him how you trained already? Did he say something like
no,
sarcastic?
No, it didn't. And I think he was being
nice.
gentle on me,
Okay.
but I
Yeah.
could tell by kind of like that silence, like. You could
That awkward
like I could
silence.
almost hear his head shake over the phone, like I just knew I was being judged for sure, but that's okay.
And
Like,
you could just envision him pointing at the phone, looking at his family,
Yeah.
shaking his head like, what?
yeah. So that's been really good for me since I was behind the times, or I thought ahead of the times, but yeah, I don't know. I have a much more structured training,
Right.
been
So
able to make some good
So
gains.
you picked
and-
him up. So you picked him up
In 2015.
in
yeah.
2015.
And so that was kind of realistically like maybe, I know you've been running, but that was like your first year of some
Like
structure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had never had any structure before that, other than what I had come up with laying in bed
Right.
at like 11 o'clock at night, trying to think, what should I do
Now-
tomorrow?
Do you dread getting the workouts?
No, actually, I get kind of excited.
Do you?
I do.
Good.
I'm like, what?
I get
twisted
excited
stuff
too,
does
but
he
then
have
there's
now?
one or two workouts where I'm like, oh, that's
Oh yeah,
gonna
every once in a
hurt.
while.
That's gonna hurt way bad.
Yeah, every once in a while he mixes it up, and I'm like, wow, all right, that'll be interesting. And
Those like 3-minute repeats. Oh man,
Oh,
those are
yeah.
crushers. Or the uphill repeats. Okay, you're gonna do 20 minutes uphill 5 times. Okay.
right.
See, Joel, he's had Ty coach him, and me and
Yeah.
Joel run together, and Joel would tell me, hey, I got to do this today, and I'm like, I was going to make it, but I didn't
Yeah.
feel good.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get a text, dude. I'm sick. I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
feel
make this
very
one.
good.
Yeah, it always happens on the speed workouts.
Right. Those can be pretty hard.
Yeah, those are harsh, but they
Yeah.
serve a purpose, and
They do. I like them.
If
Yeah.
they had a different name to them, I would potentially do them.
like the cheese curd workout.
No, just like kind of fast workout.
Kind of fast.
Because the speed, when you say speed, I'm out. I'm like,
Power
I have
run.
no speed.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like kind of fast workout. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can go kind of fast. But speed, I'm like, I can't.
So
I'm not fast.
All right. So I'm making a plan right now in my head. I'm gonna trick you into
Yeah.
doing speed workouts.
Yeah. So now he's going to say, hey, I'm going to do a kind of fast run today.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can do those.
Promise
Cheese.
cheese.
That's right.
Yeah.
I got cheese
Yeah.
in
Cheese
the
curds.
in the truck.
I'm in.
Yeah.
You just plan them around, and I'll
Right.
just go from curd to curd, like connect the dots.
I actually take cheese running with me sometimes.
Do ya?
Yeah, it's nice and salty, and yeah,
I've done that. I've done that with some
for
cheese
like long
curds.
runs, I'll do that. And
Yeah, I've done that.
Pop a little cheese.
I can see it at the aid station if it's in pierogi.
Joel and pierogies,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I like cheese and kick quesadillas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
We
like
talk about those a lot.
Those are good.
Yeah,
Burritos. Yeah.
love it.
But
So-
I'm hungry right now.
I know. It's like, where's Canice? Come on, he's like
He's got some banana bread
crumb
there.
muffins and stuff.
Yeah.
So you're with Ty. So it's been a couple years now.
Yeah.
So last year though, 2016, did you see? Because we have some of the, results from that and times and stuff there. Did you see like a big bump? That first year with him, maybe figuring some things out, and then the
Yep.
next year was kind of like more dialed in a little bit tighter.
Definitely a little bit more dialed in, and I think I had gained some good confidence. And I was tired of having races just kind of go bad for some dumb reason, like running out of water, or rushing and hurting a hamstring. And I was sort of like, I trained hard. It's nice having that structure, and I maybe took a little bit of the risk of putting some extra pressure on myself, and was like, you are gonna run these races the right way and do them right, and whatever result that gets you, that's what it gets you. But I sort of didn't want any ridiculous excuse of like, oh, that was almost a good one, because I sort of felt like that's how I was what I said after every race, and that gets old quick.
It does, especially as much training as you put in.
Yeah. And so, I did the Scout Mountain 100K last year, and I did the Never Summer 100K. Yeah, and those both went really pretty well.
You did Behind the Rocks 50 mile.
I did the Behind the Rocks too, and that was another one where I got really irritated. I got the flu the week before that, and so I was not
at your peak.
Not at my peak. Like the weekend before that, I did the whole like 24 hours of throwing everything up, and then I went camping with the family in the Moab area before that, and like that was okay, but again, I walked away from that being like,
And you came in fourth at that one.
Yeah, which I was, I was psyched about, but it was.
But you knew it wasn't what you wanted.
I knew it was not. It was not a top-notch effort, which was a bummer.
So do you remember your first time that you felt was like that was it?
You nailed it.
I nailed it. Instead of walking away going, I did pretty good. Have you had that yet?
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
So
no, could always be better, right? I mean, I'm one of those people who are like, I'll be happy and thrilled with the race, but I'll never be quite satisfied, unless it was perfect, and that the perfect race has not happened.
Yeah.
But I did the Rut 50K, and it must have been 2014, and that. I wasn't like extraordinarily fast, but nothing really horrible went wrong.
Oh, there you
go. I felt good about that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty on a course like that. If you're feeling good, that's pretty good.
I did.
Too.
I enjoyed that. Another thing, or an area Ty really helped me out, I discovered, is that I was pretty good at going up and downhill, like all that steep, rocky stuff at the Rut. Like I was having a great time on that. And when you have to run on like those dirt roads there, all those guys just crushed me. Like, I did not
like
have that kind of
turnover type
of
stuff.
They just kicked my butt.
Yeah.
And I would be able to hike with some of the fast people there, but and so Ty added that like running structure and not just hiking speed. So that was really helpful. But yeah, those races I did last year, the Scout Mountain 100K and Never Summer 100K, they weren't perfect, but
you came in first.
Yeah,
and they're tough. I mean, they're tough. I mean, we've been on. We know that.
We were up there.
Yeah, and we were there.
That was. I think it would have been really good if it wasn't for the heat. That was wicked.
That was
pretty
something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kept it together pretty good until like the Nordic Center 55 or whatever.
That's when I fell apart too.
Like
that's when you say Nordic Center. No matter what anymore, I kind of get that little bile in the throat.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't just everybody says.
I just
remember the Nordics?
Immediately dehydrated.
It was awful.
Yeah,
like it was like it looked like a
baking.
battlefield. When I was going through there, I was looking around and there was people laying around in these little patches of shade.
Yeah, exactly.
And for the first couple of them, I was like, "Hey man, are you okay?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, dude, I'm just too hot." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I would keep walking with my head down,
Yeah.
And I was the only one moving when I went through there. Like everyone else
was just looking at you. Like, is that real?
And so yeah. Other than that section, that race went pretty darn well. I felt strong, felt good. So
that's a great course too.
It is.
And just everything about it. Such a great
really
race.
does a good job of preparing you for whatever like big event you got coming up later in the year.
I loved it. It was a great race. I was kind of interested in doing it again this year.
Joel's doing it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got suckered
He'll
into
race
it.
you.
Yeah. I was gonna. Ty told me he didn't trust me not to run 100K hard. I got into Hardrock this year, which is the big goal. And so
So what's your prep race for that then? You got anything?
I don't know if I'm gonna have one.
Tomorrow at RUFA?
Tomorrow at RUFA. I think that'll be the prep race. Before well, I know. So
dude, you holding something back from us.
I right before the Hardrock lottery, I agreed to coach the high school girls soccer team. And the peak of that season is April and May.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh crap. So
not a lot of vert on a soccer field.
Not a lot of vert, and I've been scheming a lot of how I'm going to fit training in. I have some ideas. But
Girls, we're gonna go for a run today.
bring a soccer ball with you to the mountains. It'll be cool.
And bring your canteen.
Yeah, that's right.
Canteen.
So it'll probably be a lot of early mornings and
Yeah.
ridiculous stuff like that. But I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit in a race.
Nothing.
Unless I'm able to finagle something here. I'm always scheming.
Yeah.
But so that's why I thought new RUFA. I'm gonna hit it pretty hard here. February and March. The season starts in March, but there's not a lot of games. So
Right.
really April and May is where I'm gonna have to get really creative for
Right.
about 6 weeks. It's just pretty congested.
Right.
But I think I can pull it off. I think I can. And then I'll probably just run in Wyoming's lovely Wind River Mountains a whole bunch during the end of May and June. And I don't know if there's really any better training for Hardrock than that.
Yeah.
It's true. If
that's
it
a
melts
great-
out, right?
If it melts out,
Yeah,
that
that's
is
a great spot.
That isn't a big if at this point with like 190%.
So
of normal snowpack.
And this is your first Hardrock.
Yes.
How many times have you put in?
This was my 4th time putting it in.
Okay, that's
Okay.
not bad. If it
Back
would have
when-
been below that, I'd have been like, come on, man.
Yeah. No,
my first
I've
time.
been wanting
Heard
to do it
about
for
it.
a long time. So back when I thought I invented trail running, and I decided I was going to do a trail race, I was like, I started looking into them, and I saw these beautiful pictures of San Juan Mountains. I'm like, what's this
Right.
Hardrock 100? I'm going to sign up for that. And I went to the website to sign up for it, and I was like, oh damn. You got to like run a different one first, and you have to like, I'm like, oh jeez, I better get started on this.
Yeah.
So really, this is my 4th year. This was my 4th year applying, but I've been like mentally working to do Hardrock for like a long time, for like 7 or 8 years. It's
Yeah.
been sort of like the goal is I want to do that race. The San Juans look awesome.
Yeah.
do.
So it's been a long time coming, even if I haven't been applying the whole time.
Yeah. Now, are you going to go down early at all, or do you think you'll
Run
just
the
kind
course?
of do the normal thing?
Probably not.
Yeah.
That's nice, and would be cool. I kind of like the race day being a surprise, which from a racing standpoint, maybe that's not the wisest, but it's just fun, because then you can like be out there and be like, wow, this is so cool. I've never seen this before, and really kind of be in the moment,
Okay.
which I enjoy racing, and it helps me from just going out too fast, which maybe I've done once or twice.
But you've heard of like Handy's Peak? And you've
Yeah,
heard of
yeah.
those
Oh,
things?
Remember, I'm a map guy. I have a
Okay.
degree in geography.
All right. I just want to make
I mean-
sure you're not want to be too surprised.
No, I've been
right?
geeking
Like-
out on that map for years.
Okay. It's not like I'm going to learn the sex of the baby as it's born.
No,
right?
no, God, no, I would never do that. No, so I will be well studied on the course, and
Well, your coach has
A
some
little bit
absolute
little bit of
knowledge
it-
there.
I think
so.
he's been there before.
Yeah, that'll help a little bit.
That'll help.
Yeah.
So we haven't talked a lot about it, but I'm sure that time will come.
It will.
He's still
Um,
shaking his head.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
probably. I mean, gosh. Yeah, but Hardrock's the big goal for this year.
Nice.
So when you go to Hardrock, what is your goal when you're there? Just have fun?
Play in the mountains, have fun.
Nice.
Or are you
Hopefully,
gonna race?
I'll race, but I will. I mean, I'm a race, but I'm not gonna race. You know what I mean? Like that.
Okay,
I mean,
here's I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay, put me on the spot.
You're up front.
Joe
with,
loves this stuff.
You're up front with Killian and Schlarb.
Okay.
Right? And they're holding hands again.
Do you
And-
play
like
Red
a
Rover and
Do you-
break through?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you wait,
exactly.
bromance?
Yeah. Are you gonna hang out with the bromance, or you be like, later suckers? I'm gonna go.
Red Rover, Red Rover.
There's no way I'd leave Killian.
Because he's a nice guy, or
Well,
because he's so darn fast.
Well, he's like a hero,
Right.
I wouldn't blow that opportunity. But I'm not gonna run with Killian.
You say that
If you run fast down the street when they fire the gun, you're
Well,
good.
this is true. I bet you
You can get in all the videos.
if you watch those videos of him at the start, he looks pretty darn relaxed.
but,
He does.
but my favorite part of those videos is when you see the people that
should not
don't
be.
belong there.
Right.
Not to
Yeah.
mean not in a bad way, but
Right.
people that like, I want in the video.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's the guy in the jeans and the
in the
Uggs
shorts.
and- yeah.
In the Uggs.
But yeah, you could get in totally in on that.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
What's the high school you coach at?
At Lander Valley High
And
School,
what's the mascot?
the Tigers.
So you're gonna have a shirt that just says Tigers, and you're gonna run right past Killian.
I-
Well, you're El Tigre.
I could do that.
Just get El Tigre on the front of your singlet.
LT great.
I think that means the tiger.
I think it does.
In Greek
I
or
would have to
something.
ask Ty.
Yeah, that's right. Time
Yeah, Ty would know. Yeah, that'd work. So obviously you're excited for
Right.
Hardrock because anybody, it's like an excited, nervous.
Yeah.
But as Joel, getting back to Joel's point, because we like to do this a lot. What kind of goals do you have? You got to have something back of your head.
I do. I do. I think I can do well there. I don't know how well, I guess I've never really ran 100 miles super well, and I'm confident I have that in my legs.
Right.
And so it'd be wonderful if Hardrock could be that really good 100-mile. But I mean, what really got me into the whole trail running, ultra running scene was hiking up and down big mountains.
Right.
And so I feel pretty good about that at Hardrock. That's not intimidating to me like it is maybe for some folks going into Hardrock.
Yeah,
Or, or sometimes you hear about people getting freaked out about the vastness of the San Juans.
Right.
And I spent my whole summer running around Wyoming's Wind River Mountains. Like, it's pretty darn vast
Similar,
as well.
right.
Yeah. So I sort of, and I've spent a little bit of time with San Juan, so I'm maybe not completely intimidated by the terrain. Hopefully I don't regret saying that. But, things like I think the altitude will be challenging. I think just the amount of time you have to be on your feet are going to be challenging. I think some of those things will certainly be hard. I mean, geez.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be hard, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it, too. I mean, you talk to people, it's like nerves. Once you settle in to where you're at and what you're supposed to do, because, there's a lot of build up to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard rock, so it comes with its own little weight.
I more get nervous to run fast. Like, if I was signed up for Western States, I'd be scared out of my mind.
Yeah.
Where you have to, like, go run really fast.
Yeah.
Because that's
Like
that's
the whole
just-
way.
Yeah, that's not my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, going up and down steep mountains, I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Right.
So
it's kind of like a race that kind of suits you.
I'd like to think of it that way.
Right.
Hopefully that's the reality in July. But that is what I kind of do all summer. So
Well,
hopefully that pays off.
we'll be rooting for you.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you.
for sure.
Nice.
Or, reminding you of things you've said on the podcast.
You can.
Well,
You could definitely do
Is
that.
when you get an interview by I Run Far beforehand.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to name drop trail manners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. If they want to talk to me, I'll be sure to do
All
that.
right. All right. We will see if we can make that happen.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
We got to make that happen.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
So that's kind of the crux of the year, kind of full circle from when you invented the sport to coming back to getting in the mountains, right?
You're right.
So I love that, man. That's my favorite thing because it's true though, because most people don't know that this.
I didn't know.
See,
I had no idea.
When my friend, when he first told me about it, he literally told me, he goes, "I'm going to run 100K." I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know what a K was. I'm like, I don't
100
get
meters?
it. Yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then I went to his first race and saw he did well, but he couldn't talk. He couldn't do anything for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes after he finished. And I thought, this is not real, right? Like, no one does this. And then, of course, it's just incredible. But
Right.
I could see where people would think, man, they should do races.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a good
that'd be
idea.
cool. And so, kind of going backwards now. So in Lander, that's where you do your training.
Yep.
So what's training like in Lander? I mean, what's weather?
What's your scene like there?
Yeah, what's
Scene.
what's the Lander scene for like the Tigers and
It's pretty
LT
diverse. We have a nice diverse set of terrain around there. There's some good road loops, and there's a lot of people that like to do like a spring road marathon or
Yeah,
half
it's not
marathon.
necessary. No.
Yeah, not my cup of tea. But we have some great Red Rock terrain, and that's just 5, 10, 15 minutes from town. And so in the spring, you hit up a lot of that stuff. You would think you're around Moab. It's
Wow.
beautiful. And it's a little bit of a secret that I just let out of the bag now. Sorry, Lander. And then from there, it's just a short 10-minute drive to Sinks Canyon, and from there you can run pretty much anywhere in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem. It's
Wow.
just
So do you have a pretty like? I don't know a lot about Lander. I'll be the first to admit it.
Sure.
Is there a pretty good community of people that run in the trails? Is it more
there
kind of a road
is.
base? Or?
There is a good community. Yeah, there's a good community, but there hasn't been a lot of maybe cohesiveness in the past. A good friend of mine a couple of years ago started the Atlanta Running Club, in that it's kind of fun. He like moved to town from Arizona and just started the running club because we didn't have one. My wife and I were thinking about starting a running club, and we're like, oh, some guy already did that. Well, that's weird. Okay.
I didn't invent that either.
Didn't invent that. Nope. Haven't invented many things. Just trail running.
I've almost invented
trail running.
It's the only thing I've nailed.
Yeah. And since then, my wife and I, and then another one of our friends, we've just recently taken over the Lander Running Club, and we've been trying to put together a little bit more of a cohesive scene. We just put on a film festival last month that was very cool. So we had 40 people eating popcorn and drinking beer, watching
Right
cool
on.
trail running movies and stuff.
Is that the Trail Running Film Festival from James Varner? Or?
No, we kind of made up our own.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it
Nice.
a homemade trail running videos?
Yeah, and there were some people that donated films. I mean, it
Oh,
was
that's cool.
It was very
That's
cool.
cool.
That's awesome.
There were some really kind folks out there, and we were able to put together a cool film festival, and it was all free to everybody. And so we're kind of, I guess, getting the Lander trail scene a little bit more organized. But there's always been trail runners, but each has
Right.
kind of operated a little bit more on their island. Like there'll be people that I never see around town, but I'll be like 15 miles back in the backcountry
Run into
on the
that.
side of Wind River Peak and be like, "Oh, hey,
It's
how's
you
it going?
again."
Yeah, hey, fancy meeting you here again."
Yeah, they're like, El
Um,
Tigre.
Yeah,
That's right.
and literally the people I will never see in town. Like, but we will bump into each other on the side of mountains. That has happened to me on several occasions.
How big
So-
big is Lander?
What do we got? Like 7,000 or 8,000 people,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
I mean, it's not real big. We're the county seat, Fremont County. So
Okay.
tells you a
Nice.
lot
Like
about
that-
Fremont
that
County.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Because the interesting thing, and I didn't know this until we talked before the podcast, because there's a race I've been eyeballing there, because I didn't
Yeah.
know it existed, but of course Ultra Sign Up is like
It's good.
the trail running Bible, other than the one you printed. And
Well, I didn't go that far.
or the one you brought down from the mountain.
It's on some tablets under my bed.
That you whittled with your Swiss Army knife from summer camp.
Yeah.
But there's a race I've been eyeballing.
Yeah?
And it's in
Yeah.
June, and you're gonna have to give me the name of it again. It's the Rough and Tumble.
Yeah, the Sinks Canyon Rough and Tumble Trail Race.
Okay, and I was looking at there's a few distances.
Yep.
Right.
But as you said before, the 50K is a legit course
is.
and race. But the pictures I've seen are incredible.
It's beautiful.
It's incredible.
Yeah, Sinks Canyon's a wonderful place. I mean, it's the corridor of the Wind River Mountains, and in June it is just wildflower heaven. I
Right.
mean, it's just gorgeous. And you get a real diversity of terrain there. You got the canyons that kind of lead up into the mountains, and you can see a lot of the tall, snow and ice covered peaks. You can look out into the Wind River Basin. I mean, it's a stunning diversity of terrain, and the 50K course is very cool in that there's some very rugged sections, steep, lots of climbing, descending, and there's some very runnable sections too. So it takes I guess a diverse runner to
Right.
do well there.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We're diverse, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're diverse.
If you're on the Thai training plan, you must be diverse.
He
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on it too.
There
He
you
doesn't
go.
know it, but he is.
Yeah. It's kind of, I'm like the ninja diversity.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have an 11-mile race and a 4-mile race. And the 11-mile race is really interesting. There's a road,
So you have a 50K,
50K,
an 11 mile,
11 mile,
and a
Four.
Four
and a 4
mile.
mile.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, I didn't make up these distances. My friend Evan
Right.
did.
I think
He
it's
was-
cool
Yeah.
because we and Joel talk about it all the time. You always see 50Ks,
Yeah.
50 milers,
Right.
but it's fun to come up
It
with
is cool.
screwy
Yeah.
numbers.
And the 11-mile race is really goofy. So there's these paved switchbacks that go like straight up the sides of Sinks Canyon, and the race starts out with like a 4 or 5 mile climb.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know. It's on.
Joel's
Just hear me
trying
out.
to-
Joel's
So
trying
it's
to wrap
bizarre. So you
his
run up
head.
these paved switchbacks, and then you do this absolutely beautiful spot, and then you dump off onto like one of the most beautiful single tracks around you'll find, and then you run back down the canyon on this perfect single track.
But that's not paved.
That's not. It's
Okay.
no. It's
Do all the races have to do those paved switchbacks?
no. Just the
Okay.
11 mile.
Okay.
All right.
So Joel
Okay,
just-
okay, we're good
Right.
now.
Just the 11 mile, and the 50K has like a very short section of pavement to connect.
Yeah, it was
to
like 2
trailheads.
miles.
It's
So if I was doing the 11, I'd have to wear my Luna sandals up on
Right.
the flat stuff, and then throw on some
and
trail
you would
shoes.
need a drop bag, I'm sure. For,
Yeah, at the
you know.
top.
Yeah, so I'd have to put my toe socks in there. Get
You
after
would need
it.
somebody to help you
Yeah.
put those top
Yeah,
socks
that'd
on.
take 20 minutes off my time.
Yeah, it would.
And a lot of cuss words.
Yeah.
And the 4 mile race is right, and some trails are right in Sinks Canyon, and that's been a popular race for like a lot of kids or
Yeah.
people who are just getting into trail running.
That's
do it,
cool.
and it's very cool. It's that 4 mile race has so much stoke. Like everyone's just
Yeah.
happy prancing through the wildflowers, kind of having a good trail experience. So it's been a good family friendly event in the past where
Right on.
there's kind of all sorts of folks there. From fast competitive people to people just out taking pictures and people running up.
So
the road.
between the three distances, what's like, if you know, I don't know if you know
Uh-huh.
or anything, what's kind of the total number of
So
entrants?
you have a limit?
No, there's no limit. This will be its 3rd year in
Right.
existence. It's been quite small in the past.
Right.
But definitely like to get bigger. I
What
mean,
would you say the numbers in the 50K were last year?
Last year was the first year of the 50K, and there was like less than 10 people who did it.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Were they fast?
So we can
one of
be
them was
top 10.
One of them was way fast, actually. Yeah.
And then it drops off?
I don't remember. I didn't run it
Okay.
last year.
I'll have to look at the
My wife
results.
ran the 11-mile last year, and so I was watching her and cheering on with my kids.
Okay. On the top of the paved switchbacks?
That's where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see, it's an easy place to take a stroller
Yeah.
if you're taking kids.
We drove, I'll be honest.
Okay.
There you go.
I don't blame you. I would do it during the race.
That was just after Smut. He was a
It
little
was
tired.
just
That's
after
true.
Smut.
That's true. So you're saying, I might have to take a look because if, there's
There's only 10 people.
top
Do the
10.
50K. The 50K course is
Oh, if
legit.
I came
and
up,
you
I'd
get to see a lot of stuff.
absolutely
Yeah,
do
if
the
you're gonna
50K.
drive over
The,
there,
the
yeah.
scenery on
50K.
the 50K is really, really good, and it's challenging terrain.
It's good prep for the bear, right?
Yeah, it is.
There you go.
It really is. Like,
It's good prep for Beaverhead because
yeah,
that's before the
good,
bear.
good prep for any of it. Like,
Yeah.
I think it'd be a great race, and then there's free food catered afterwards.
Ooh, now
and
we're
like,
talking
I
cheese.
What kind of
Cheese curds?
No, there's a wonderful restaurant in Lander called the Middle Fork.
Okay.
That has what did they do last year? Lots of bacon and
Okay.
eggs.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you know,
We're
it's
there.
delicious. Yeah.
bacon and potential top 10 finish.
Yeah.
Right. Wait, do you guys have Cold Creek coffee there? Did they move over to Lander?
No, but we've got several wonderful coffee shops.
Okay.
And I can't
Well, they
remember.
make beer too.
Oh.
They make.
Well, we have the Lander Brewing Company as well.
Okay.
We're small, but we got it all. We got
Yeah,
our own
oh,
brewing.
I like
we
that.
got roasters.
We're small, but we got it all.
Oh my gosh, I should trademark that
You
for
should.
Lander.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, you
Oh my
you invented
Trail running.
Trail
I've
running,
never thought myself an
the
inventor
Bible.
before, but you guys are starting to make me wonder here now.
Yeah. Hey, be the first to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better, if you don't hashtag it, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we leave the store, you need to hashtag
Yeah.
that. Just say, I'm just putting this out there.
Yep.
We
I'll
may
tell you
be
what's going on in a
small,
couple weeks.
But we got it all.
That's right.
That's pretty sweet. If
You can charge at least $10,000 for that.
Yeah.
Wow. I like the sounds of that.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We're entrepreneurs.
We are
Yeah.
serial entrepreneurs.
That's right.
You know, being a teacher's so lucrative, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I bet it is. Yeah. So you're coaching soccer. You're going to be the driver's ed coach.
Driver's egg coach.
Instructor.
Yeah.
Instructor. That's a
Yeah.
lot. That's what to pick up that extra income. You got to
Yeah.
pick up some
Those
sports.
Drivers ed people make some good cash.
Well, you'd have to.
For real?
Yes, they
Oh.
do.
You'd have to sit in cars with
Yeah.
people that don't know how to drive.
I don't think I would do it.
No.
No, I'm scared.
Yeah,
of
I
cars
couldn't, I
and
couldn't
stuff.
do it. I
Yeah.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't even let my wife drive when we drive, and she's a good driver.
Oh.
So I couldn't let someone that didn't know how to drive. So I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
You're getting yourself in a hole on that one.
No, I'm not. It's good. So Lander Running Club, and then that race. So is there any more races in the area that go on up there?
Not a lot of other races. There's one that goes on in the Red Desert.
Oh, yeah. Jim ran that last year.
Oh,
Jim
that's right.
Skaggs.
It's
There's a
called Run the
marathon.
Red. Yeah,
There's
it's a marathon there.
He said it was really good.
Yeah, the scenery's beautiful. It's really hot and sandy. I've never ran. I went
Okay, never
volunteered at
mind.
one year.
Never mind.
Those
Yeah,
are two
I don't
words
want to
I
run
don't
it.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hot
if
and
you're into
sandy.
that sort of thing, it's
Yeah.
great.
If you're into hot and sandy,
Yeah.
or if you're into hot and sandy.
I'm not into
I've
that.
never
in
been
June.
into hot and sandy.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, I never have either.
I struggle at
But
like
it is.
ocean.
It's a pretty race. It's well done. Yeah, I volunteered there one year, and it was cool.
It's that little race in Star Valley.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
How far is that from you?
it's kind of a long way.
Yeah.
It's
like
that's
we
like
gotta go down to Rollins and then shoot over. and
no,
then
we
come
go over
up?
South Pass. I don't. It's like at
Oh.
least no. What do we do? We went through Jackson last year. My wife ran it last year.
What?
I don't know my Wyoming geography
That's like
really
it's
well.
like a 3-hour drive. To
So it was at least 3.5 hours, I think, to get to Afton for us.
Oh,
So, you know, as the crow flies, it's actually not
No.
super duper far, but there's just a whole lot of mountains
get
in
that big
between
mountain
Lander
range in
and
between.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of a lot of stuff.
that's
there,
one of
but
our favorite.
It's
Yeah,
good.
of
I
course
want to
it
do
is.
that one of these years, and I just heard Ty say that it won't be around forever, and he got me all freaked out.
Yeah.
But
well, we talked him into bringing it back at least this year.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still register.
Yeah.
You got nothing going on.
Well, I was gonna plan a big adventure in August, actually.
Well, that
Oh,
would
yeah.
be the start of one.
Yeah. Well.
Start there.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Start a little bit more north or south, and then run the whole range.
There you go.
Well, it's kind of along the lines of what I'm planning, actually, is I want to run at Jackson from Lander. Let that set in for a second.
How far is that?
So how would you go up Cache Creek and then
So we.
how would you do
so
that?
is-
Or would you go out through?
I
the
thought a lot
Gravats?
about this.
a lot
Yeah,
more
so-
than
I
you
mean,
thought
you're a
about
map guy.
Hardrock.
Yes, I am a map
You're a
guy.
map guy.
Oh,
Indeed.
that would be dialed in.
there's something called the Wind River High Route. That's sort of this like unofficial route that a few people have been kind of constructing, you know,
Okay.
on the internet and stuff like that. But basically, it's staying as high as you can in the Wind River Mountains without like needing ropes and stuff like that.
Right.
So I want to go, and I would. It's been like a dream of mine to do that whole route for a while now. And so that would spit you out either near DuBois, Wyoming,
Okay.
or near Green River Lakes at the northern end of the range.
Right.
And so those seemed like kind of, I don't know. I didn't want to stop there.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, it'd be cool to go all the way to Jackson and go through the
Right.
Gravant mountain ranges. And part of my motivation there is, like I said before, I have celiac disease. There's not a lot of
Right.
restaurants I can go out to eat
Sure.
at, and which is really fun, you know, after a long run to go
Yeah.
out to eat. And there's this great restaurant in Jackson called the Lotus Cafe.
Yeah.
You've been there?
Yeah.
It's delicious. And so they got all sorts of food there I could
Okay,
eat. And
I like
so I was like, I should just keep going all the way to Jackson. That
Right.
way I can get like some food there afterwards. So I've been trying to get people to do that with me for years.
Okay. So
And,
how long is this going to be?
I can run from my house and have dinner like in 7 days.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I mean, how many?
I think it'll be in the vicinity of 200 miles.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it'll be one of those kind of things. And so probably I
I
found.
bet you get the FKT.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
bet
right?
so.
Yeah.
Those are popular.
We'll be establishing that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a friend of mine who's does the whole Ironman thing and is pretty good at it apparently. He agreed to do that with me.
Does he know what he's in for?
I think so. He's
Is
a
he going
Knoll-
to swim through the lakes and
Well,
meet you on the
I
other
should
side?
make him do
That would
that.
be cool.
He's a Knowles instructor, so he knows what he's doing in the mountains.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And he's
You're
a
good.
fast road runner. And I thought,
Right.
well, we'll put those two things together
Yeah.
and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Because you invented trail
Right.
running.
Yeah.
I'll just teach him everything he needs to know.
Yeah.
and-
Exactly.
Give him the power.
And,
give him the PowerPoint
yeah.
the night before.
Right. I am good at making PowerPoints as an educator.
That's right. You are.
Highly proficient.
Man, that is a hell of a.
Yeah, I'm
Dude,
pretty.
that
I'm
is
very
crazy.
And that's
excited
a-
about it.
And that's after Hardrock.
After
Hard-
Hardrock.
after Hardrock,
So
yeah.
And so I won't. The goal won't be to like
Crush it.
crush it and go super fast,
And
but
it's
like
going to be a lot of snow
probably-
this year,
yeah.
so that could be
do it kind of
iffy.
fast packing style. Carry
Right.
it like the absolute minimum of
Right.
sleeping stuff, and
Yeah.
run and scramble and.
You refuel up in DuBois.
I haven't asked my wife about that yet, but maybe.
Okay, let's make sure we do that.
Yeah.
Right? It's gonna be
Maybe
important.
have someone bring us a little food.
Yeah.
Or my friend was talking about getting a Knowles group to carry in some extra food for us and meet them
Yeah.
up somewhere.
That'd be good.
right.
Packing a microwave.
Yeah.
They're more trustworthy than Boy Scouts, so you can. Yeah.
Indeed. So we're still working out all those logistics, but we're planning on it. So that's kind of my
Wow.
August plan.
That's
And
huge.
See,
Yeah.
Joel knew you had something else
Yeah.
Yeah.
the whole time. He's like, you got to have something else. You're holding back.
Everybody always has something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
It's our
He's
job
gotta-
to bring
he's
it out
gotta
of them.
Poke and prod until
Yeah.
they just say it. And
Yeah,
now
or
it's
Badger.
Yeah.
I like Badger.
Badger. Well,
Yeah. And then
poke
I'd like to do
prod's
another 100 in September. I'm not sure what.
bad. So I'm done after Hardrock, except I'm going to do this 200-mile thing.
Yeah, then I'm gonna do either Run Rabbit Run or
no,
do
no,
Bear.
no, run.
So what
Or the
100?
bear.
I'm tough.
Either I'm tough or the bear.
Oh.
Well, we'll see. You know, I do have this bad habit of like getting like really big eyes and thinking I can do all that in the summer.
Right.
And then I don't do it all. But maybe.
Wow.
Well, I mean, Hardrock isn't supposed to be very hard.
No.
The other
Because
little,
it's in his wheelhouse. It's all
Right.
hiking.
yeah, and
Right.
the other little project you got going is
That's
Lots
all
of hiking
that's
again.
Just, yeah, that's just going to dinner.
Yeah.
And then,
Like, literally.
yeah. And then the last one is I've heard the I'm Tough course is just kind of
Looks
easy,
beautiful.
So you
Yeah,
should be good.
It's just easy. It will be the. It'll be the hard direction this year.
Not that both aren't, but
Right.
yeah.
But
yeah.
this one, you out of the gate, you do all that climbing through.
It's beautiful. up
Yeah,
there,
it looks
though.
good. I don't know if it'll be. It's like 12 hours from Lander or something. It's
a
really
long drive.
far. I don't know if I can pull it off during the school year.
good
Which
point.
and that's where the bear
And
comes
it's
in. It's a lot closer.
Saturday Sunday race, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not Friday Saturday
The
like
bear,
the Bears.
bear's gonna fill up though.
I know
So
it's
you
getting
might wanna
full.
think about it.
I know. I have been thinking about it.
Yeah. Don't
But,
let
uh,
us influence you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be there.
Yeah,
With
we'll
the
be
bear.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. I've had
Yeah.
actually several people push me on the bear.
That's
And
cool.
I
You know the
know my
course.
wife would rather do that. So
There's cheese in Cache Valley. They have good cheese.
you know
up
what? I've
there.
never had their cheese.
It's
I've
good.
heard about
Pretty
that.
good.
Gosner's is up
Yeah.
there.
All right. I should
There's
hit
some
that
good
up.
cheese up there. I don't know if there's a lot of cheese where I'm tough's at.
I don't
Well,
think there's a
goats.
lot.
There's goats on the course.
Yeah, you could probably
That's
just
cool.
make some. Just put put some goat milk in a Ziploc and
just
go the
shake
rest
it.
of the
Honestly,
course.
I'm not a big fan of goat cheese though.
All right.
Oh,
I don't know what it is.
I like me some goat cheese.
Do you?
Yeah, especially on pizza. Oh,
Yeah. He doesn't like pizza
I know he
or
doesn't.
goat cheese.
yeah.
I,
That's okay.
I like pizza. Wait, who said I didn't like pizza?
Well, sorry.
He can get the.
What do you
Oh,
call it? The
gluten-free.
gluten-free.
Oh, I make
pizza.
my own crust. It
Yeah.
rocks. It's
Do
good.
ya?
It's no problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna have to try some in June when we come over for that
We can
race.
Make that happen.
That race looks. I'm serious. Before, like I said,
It's
before
only
I
2
knew.
weeks after Smuts.
Yeah.
I think, and 2 weeks before
It's a great like.
Beaverhead.
See, look here you're doing it too. Packing it all in one summer. It's all
Well,
good.
I think like a 50K is different than a 200
Just a
too.
little
A little bit different.
Yeah.
Low impact
Yeah.
200.
Because we don't have to plan the 50K. We're like, okay, food will be there, food will be
Right,
there,
that's
water will
right.
be there.
That's
You're
right.
like, I might have to, stick my head in that pond over there and see if I can come up with a
like a
brook trout.
a frog.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That carcass hasn't been there long.
No.
Yeah. If the lakes are melted.
Yeah, that's true. So that sounds like a pretty stout 2017.
I think
Yeah,
so.
it'll be good.
Does your coach know about all these, or does he just know that you're
Yeah.
running
Should we send him a
RUFA?
little message?
Maybe you want to. He knows about Hardrock.
Okay.
I'm surprised
you know, I,
he's actually not doing that 200-mile adventure with you.
Well,
But
you know,
he's
I,
got
you know,
some stuff
I actually
going on,
tried.
too.
That's how I actually got in touch with him after he did the Bear 200 thing.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I have this idea, and he
I'd like to go 200 miles.
and I was trying to talk him into it, and then I don't know, he got busy with something else, or maybe
Yeah.
his Achilles hurt or
He's a
something.
ki-
I
yeah,
can't
he's
remember.
got that bum heel.
But then he didn't want to do it, and then I don't know. It's one of those things that's kind of hard to fit in.
It is. But both as educators, you got to get that in.
Right.
In the
Oh yeah,
summertime.
you guys have that. To get,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you teach?
The last
Map making? You don't do
No.
that in high school, right?
prior to this year, I taught at Fort Washakie High School on the Wind River Reservation for 3 years.
Oh,
and I was
sweet.
their high school social studies teacher. And this year, I left the reservation and I'm at Lander Valley High School doing some special education work.
Oh, sweet.
So-
awesome.
Not exactly in my wheelhouse, but hopefully I can get back to the geography and social studies things.
Right.
soon. But it's been kind of a fun change of pace, though, too. I'm working with the life skills students who are our students that kind of need the most assistance and
Right.
stuff. And it's been fun. It's been a good change. But
Oh, that's awesome. That really
Yeah.
is. That's really cool.
It is.
And so let's see. You got race,
Right.
long run
Dinner.
with a long run, then a dinner
Yeah.
at the Lotus Cafe.
Right.
Yeah.
They
and
should
then-
sponsor you.
I was thinking about that, actually. I was like, all I want is a free meal. If we run to Lowe's
Just
Cafe
have
from
them put
Lander-
a tape, like a finish tape, across their front
Oh,
door.
that would be cool.
Wouldn't that be cool? I think it'd be cool.
I need to get in touch with those guys.
Why not?
Yeah.
Joe lived in Jackson.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, he used to be a chef up there.
Yeah.
Really?
Long
Yeah.
time ago.
Uh-huh.
He made gluten-free pizza.
No, he didn't.
Didn't?
No, definitely
He made
not.
chocolate chip cookies.
No,
Dang it!
What'd you
didn't.
make?
I didn't. I started off with the lame duck, so that was
Okay.
Chinese and
Okay.
sushi a long time ago.
Okay.
Then worked at the Snake River Brew Pub,
Oh, very nice.
made their food for a while, and then worked at a place called Bedrock.
Oh,
And
very-
so I
oh, yeah.
managed their
I
kitchen.
used to go there.
Managed their kitchen for about 5 years.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Isn't that a small world? Soccer, cheese,
Yeah.
soccer, Jackson.
Jackson.
That's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's wrapped up into one.
I know.
So is your wife? You mentioned it before. She's
Yep.
supportive of what you're doing as far as the running. She
Well,
likes that.
obviously.
Yeah, she's pretty supportive.
Pretty supportive, right? And how many kids do you have?
We have 2 kids. We have
And-
a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's-
My wife runs quite a bit too.
Wow.
She did
Oh, you-
Vaquero last year. She took second there last year.
Jeez.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure you're putting on your kids
Well,
between you two.
you know, they like running like more than we do. I mean, geez, like
From you guys.
they won't. I can't get my 4-year-old to walk anywhere. She just runs like
Right on.
or skips or jumps or.
Who's she sponsored by?
Kids.
That's awesome.
Gosh, gosh.
They'd light up in the
Pedialyte?
back.
I don't know.
Pedialyte.
Should work on that.
So what? Speaking of that, what do you wear? What kind of shoe? Me and Joel talk about shoes all the time.
Yeah. Like
What shoes do you wear? What's your
Excessively.
go-to?
My go-to is Solomon shoes.
Yeah?
I've generally had really good luck.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to wear the Solomon Sense Pro a lot, and I wore like the S-Lab Sense a lot.
right. What you
la-
got this year?
I'll probably be wearing
Did you get that?
The S Lab Sense or the
Ultra?
Sense Ultra.
Did you get the Sense Ultra?
I have the Sense Ultra.
S-Lab Sense Ultra.
Yeah, the names are a mouthful.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I get them confused
Oh, I do.
all the time.
Yep.
I just say the ones I wore
Right. We've got a pair
in
of
that
those
picture.
S-Lab Sense Ultra.
Sense Ultra. They're pretty nice.
We
They're
got some of
comfy.
those to test, and I have been wearing those
Yeah.
every time we've gone out for a run for the
Okay.
last 2 weeks, and I like them.
I haven't been able to find like any dirt to run on in mine. I've only worn them in the snow,
Like I was
which is
telling
not
him, like
fair.
the first 50 miles, that's all I did was run on snow, and they worked out pretty good.
Okay.
And then this week we finally got them on some dirt, and they're
Yeah.
feeling pretty good so
yeah.
far.
All winter I've been wearing the XA Alpine.
Yeah.
S-Lab XA Alpine. Those are awesome on the snow.
Are they?
Like they're fantastic.
You got a run shop in Lander?
Not a specific run shop. We have Wild Iris Mountain Sports,
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've heard of those
Um,
guys actually.
which is a great shop, and they carry some running stuff, and
Right.
they help sponsor Atlanta Running Club, and
Right.
they've been good. But no, I don't. We probably aren't big enough for a running specific shop.
That'd be tough.
What do you think of the Park City Running Company?
God, isn't this place nice? I was like, dude,
I know.
let's get one of these in Lander.
We want one of these.
We want
in
one.
Ogden.
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
coffee bar, and oh my gosh, yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah.
We love it up here. Seriously.
This is my first time being here, and
I was excited.
Very
I even posted on
impressed.
Facebook.
I know he did.
I'm like, I'm going to Park City Run Company.
I know. And when you told me you were coming through here, I was like, oh, we're gonna totally do the show there.
Yeah,
Awesome.
for sure. It's like having a Disney pass, but
Yeah.
not paying the $3.95.
yeah.
Yeah.
We got the speed pass.
We do have the speed pass right in, and we get our hand. We get coffee, shake
Yeah.
hands. So what else? What else is your thing? You a 5-inch inseam, 3-inch inseam? What
Split
kind of
s-
short
split-
split side?
I do like the 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 is good.
Patagonia.
Yeah, I do like those. The Strider Pro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Strider Pro
that's what
5
we're
inch.
at.
That's
Yep,
ours.
those are definitely a great short. I've worn a few other ones too. I've never found the perfect running shorts that doesn't chafe to some degree.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, they all
But
change. I don't care
the
what they
Strider
say.
Pro is the best I've
Yeah.
found so far.
So here's a combo for you. It's like a
Sure.
recipe.
Okay.
The Rabbit shorts. We've been talking a lot about Rabbit on our podcast.
Yeah.
We get nothing from them, by the way. I want to
Okay.
make that clear. But we love their shorts.
Right. They're out of Santa Barbara.
Okay.
USA, and you can get 20% off if you in February
Yeah.
if you put Trail
5-inch
Manners.
inseam.
They got a
Oh,
5
yeah.
inch. They have one. They got a 3-inch.
Yeah.
Split
With
on the
a-
side. It's
like
called
a-
the-
like
it's
a-
called the Daisy Duke.
Yeah.
My wife just making fun of me that every year I run my shorts get like an inch shorter.
Yeah. Well, their 5-inch shorts called the Quadzilla.
Isn't
Quadzilla.
that the perfect?
Okay.
And they're comfy.
That
They are
is
way
good.
comfy,
What kind of
but-
liner?
But they don't have a ton of storage.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's the
my only
difference between the
complaint.
Patagonia
Okay.
one.
The
Okay.
Patagonia is perfect because
The liner's awesome. There's rabbits in it.
Yeah.
For real?
Really?
For real.
Yeah.
There's like little
Sounds
rabbits.
Like little meshed rabbits.
Sounds hopping.
Yeah, I
good.
like
Yeah.
that. I like what you did
Their
there.
crotch is hopping.
So if you add some rabbit and some squirrel nut butter, right? No chafing,
Trip
and
to
you're
the
one
zoo.
with nature. That's right. That's
You
that's-
might get thrown in jail in some places for that.
So what do you wear? I'm wearing rabbit and squirrel nut butter.
Yeah.
People are like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
going to prison.
Yep.
But that's a good combo.
That
Just
is
because
a
you're
good
talking about
combo.
chafing. But the rabbit shorts
Yeah.
are great.
They are.
Of course, squirrel nut
You
butter.
know,
is
that
just
it reminds
nice.
me of my German teacher in high school. I took 2 years of German.
This is going to be really weird, I think.
This
I
is going
think
to be
so
weird.
because we haven't gone here.
Yes,
I've
this
never
is-
had a
I
story
had a
end
wonderful
well
German
with
teacher. Her name was
my-
Frau Hecker.
Oh.
And she took attendance every day.
Please tell me she was
But I
hot.
say she had it going on for a 60-year-old lady
Mustache
teaching
wearing.
German in Stoughton, Wisconsin. No doubt about it. But she took attendance every day, and she would use our German names. And my German name that I chose was Joachim.
Joachim.
And so she'd go around the class, and she'd say, Joachim,
Yeah.
welche Farbe ist dein Unterhosen? Which is what color is your underwear.
Oh.
And so you had to respond back in German what color your underwear is. And I was just, as you were talking about the rabbit underwear, I was trying to think, how do you say that? I have rabbit on my underwear in German.
That's your homework.
So
That's your homework for tomorrow.
I'll be on Google Translate shortly. and-
Yeah, exactly.
You couldn't say that to kids these days in school.
No, you
what
really
color's your
couldn't.
underwear? You
Yeah,
would be
she
done.
could get away with murder,
'Cause-
though. This lady
Yeah,
was
because
pretty
she was a
slick.
hot 60-year-old.
Yeah, but
she
back-
could get away with it.
But when I was in school, you could say that a teacher could say
Oh,
that
I
all day
know.
long. It'd be like no big deal. I mean, I got thrown into a filing cabinet in 6th grade, and I didn't get in trouble.
Yeah, I had a teacher put duct tape on my mouth once. That probably wouldn't fly anymore.
No, it'd rip my mustache off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so 5-inch inseam, Solomon, that's kind of up our alley, too. We've
I
been
know.
testing Solomon. Joel's pushing me to the 5-inch
Yeah.
inseam.
It's good.
I'm
It's
7-inch
comfy.
standard. but
Airy. Oh, he had 7 inches years ago, man. Move
I
forward.
know, right?
I invented the 7-inch inseam.
That's great. Hey, it's fun being an inventor.
I know, right? We're there, too. We invent things. Well, man, we can't tell you how much we appreciate you taking the time to join us on your way through.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We always like
Good
to
luck
talk
tomorrow.
to. Yeah,
Thank you.
And you're tearing it up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, just your last few years for sure. Your story's awesome, and
Thanks.
getting into Hardrock. And we like
Yeah.
to continually stalk our
Yeah.
guests.
Okay.
I
You
think
do a
we'll come
good
over
job.
for Lander.
Yeah,
I'm
come over
telling
for
you.
Rough and Tumble. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I've
be
been
fun.
eyeballing that sucker, man.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, it's the timing for everything else. It's right there,
It is.
and
yeah.
it's not that far.
Are we do a
to drive.
contest? Give away free entry?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So let's
Let's
back
do
that
that.
up.
Okay.
What's the contest?
So we'll make something up.
Okay.
I think it should
Any distance, right?
Yeah, any
All right.
distance. But do the 50K.
But do the 50.
but do the 50.
But any distance is fine.
Yeah.
All right.
We
50K.
could come up with a cool contest that has to do with like cheese, German, and inventing something. That would be the coolest thing,
Yeah.
All right.
right? Because that's kind of what's hitting this show.
So
right.
inventing
So
a
they
new
have-
type of cheese and give it a German name.
Oh
All
my
right.
gosh, that's it.
That's it. Perfect.
Yeah.
Leave
So
that
you-
in the Facebook comments.
Yep. So you
right?
got to
Yeah.
You'll
invent
be entered.
the name of a cheese,
Right.
Uh-huh.
but
and
give it a German name.
And
Right.
what's in it? I want to know what's in your cheese.
True.
Like,
We need to know the rest. The
Ingredient.
makeup, right.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you got that, and we'll post that in our
Soft
notes.
cheese, hard
Right.
cheese,
Oh,
sharp.
it's squeaky
yeah.
cheese.
Squeaky.
Oh god.
You want something in it?
How do you say smoked in German?
homework for tomorrow.
Oh, that'd be good.
Smoked. I don't know.
Smoked. Okay, so so obviously this German's rusty.
Yeah.
He remembers how to say what color's your underwear, which
That's
I don't.
all
wanna
I
know.
remember.
That's right.
So that'll be the contest for a entry to the Rough and Tumble race in Lander, Wyoming.
That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
And that looks like a killer race. Make sure you go check it out
Yeah.
on Ultra Sign Up as well. So yeah, Gabe, thanks for taking the time to join
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having
Good
me.
luck. I think Hardrock, like you said, is in your wheelhouse.
Oh yeah.
Let's hope so.
That'll be awesome
Yep.
to see how you do down there. If you can get your off the soccer pitch long enough to train,
Right.
that'd be good. No
Yeah.
overtime games. No. Yeah, it's like we're done. Let's go.
Yep.
Rain delay. We're out. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Again, thank Canice, Park City Run Company, for
Yep.
letting us come in here tonight and check things out. And man, thanks for the coffee too. This has been great. All right, thanks for joining us. We'll catch up with you soon.
All right. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
thanks. Thank you for listening to the Trail Manners podcast. We'd like to thank Gabe Jones for taking the time to join us here at Park City Run Company, and thank Canice as well for opening up the shop for us. And again, don't forget about the contest for the Rough and Tumble race there in Lander, Wyoming. We'd also want to encourage everybody to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Trail Manners, or head over to our website at trailmanners.com. There we've got a store page for some cool gear, or you can hit us up on the contact page and let us know what you want to see, who you want to hear, or if you would like to be on the show. Until next time, this is Eric Manning with Joel Hatch reminding you, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Now go get it.